7:34 now. On the phone line, we have State Senator Tim Sheldon. Morning, Tim.
Morning, Jeff. Oh, yeah.
I
hear you're going to be around Olympia today.
Yeah, I'm going to come by and
make sure you stop in.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll stop by, see what you're up to. I'll probably be busy working on the floor as lots of votes are happening and things like that. It sounds like the supplemental budget was voted out of the House, now moves over to the Senate. What are your thoughts on this thing?
Well, it's a little different. The House and Senate don't always agree on the first budget. They always do at the end. But I think a big difference is the House budget funds programs with a new capital gains tax. The Senate budget does not do that, does not use that method. So it's a little different, and I think that's the big hill to climb for legislators here at the end.
Now, this capital gains tax, tell me a little bit about who you think it'll impact the most and how it'll affect the 35th.
Well, it'll affect small business people primarily, I think, although others that I think it's if you have capital gains over $50,000 as a couple, you'll be affected. I don't know all the details since I didn't develop it and wouldn't develop that kind of proposal. Mm-hmm. But, I think small business people or people that are selling houses, for example, if you're retiring, moving, downsizing, for example, that's going to affect you. Your sale of your property is going to be taxed as a capital gain. So it could be construed very much as a precursor or even, in fact, an income tax. So those things are constitutionally protected in our state. So it's going to raise quite a bit of debate at the end, but I don't think it'll prevail.
There's a large push across the state this morning, and you see it in newspapers all across the state on the public records bill that was voted through in the House and the Senate. The major newspapers are asking the governor to veto this public records bill. I talked with Representative Griffey yesterday about it. I understand that you and Dan and Drew McEwen as well all voted in favor of this. Talk to me a little bit about the reason behind this and
sure.
What and the bill.
Well, the Associated Press and other media had sued the legislature to open up some records, and I voted for the bill, which basically changes the law and allows us to continue to keep many things private. It does open up a lot of other things, though. But the reason I voted for the bill, it would still keep our constituents' correspondence, emails, letters, those types of things, visits, confidential. I have a lot of people that come in with big issues, with domestic violence issues. They might have health issues. They could have all kinds of things they just really don't want to share with the public and never would have come to you as a legislator for assistance if they thought that their issue could become public. And sometimes, even in families, divorces where one person comes after the other, child custody cases, these things are best handled in private, and I don't believe that we should open those constituent records up. So that's why I voted for the bill. I apologize for the process. It was very quick. I don't think I've ever seen a bill that has been passed that quickly through both houses with less public input, although there was a lot of public input before the bill's language surfaced. Mm-hmm. So, but it did get what we call veto-proof majorities in both the House and the Senate. So I think the governor will sign the bill. Of course, it's up to him, but I think the problem has been with the process and not what's actually in the bill.
Well, you brought up the governor. He was making headlines across the country yesterday, standing up to the president there at his conversation about guns and things like that. What did you think of his points the governor made to the president?
Well, I was fortunate enough to watch it live. I didn't get started yesterday. We didn't convene until later in the day. And I watched it, and I thought, well, it got a lot of press. His comments were really out of context. The first governors that spoke about the school safety issue, and there was like 6 or 7 of them, made very constructive comments, and it was interesting to hear what other states are doing. And when Governor Inslee speaks, he uses phrases that he's somehow rehearsed. He talked about first graders, and if I can remember the quote, first grade teachers, that do we want them packing heat? Mm-hmm. Well, I think that was just kind of a headline grabber. The president is not saying that all teachers or any teachers would be required to carry a gun. I think he's talking about any person on staff. It might be retired military, might be a custodial staff with training in the military or law enforcement. And so I think the governor made a statement, I think, that was more political than those other statements that were made in the conversation of looking for solutions here. So,
what do you think about teachers having Holden carry-in schools?
I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think I know any teachers that would want to do that. But in certain states like Texas, they have teachers for years that have had concealed weapons permits and firearms on their person during school hours. So there's some examples of a fellow that had a .45, and he was certainly licensed and had it in his vehicle. And when a problem arose, he went out and got that 45 1911 model and came back in and solved the problem. So there's a variety of things and consequences, but I don't think anybody's saying teachers are going to or should be required to carry a weapon at school. That's not going to happen.
State Senator Tim Sheldon, it's always nice talking with you.